Hello again. Welcome to another episode of the series. If you missed out on what I made last time, check the video on my page. You might like it. This time, I am excited to showcase Rora, an assassin/mage who specializes in illusion magic and picking off enemy backlines. My initial idea for this hero was for her to be a child who clearly has childlike qualities like innocence and whimsy. So I started out sketching her face and explored different hairstyles and colors that might work. This is just for me to start with something that looks specific enough, but leaving space for a bit of exploration. I figured I would give her bright hair colors to pop in contrast with the darker skin color, but I also did try giving her a more natural, darker hair color just to see what it would look like. I ended up liking all of them, so I did have a hard time deciding. At this point, and I know it's strange, but I made sketches of silhouettes which other artists usually do first to make interesting shapes that they can build off of. You will see me make different changes to this character because I was struggling to get it right. I made a small character backstory to guide me with the choices along the way. I'm not the best at writing, but here it goes. Rora loses her parents, though she doesn't remember how. But they're in front of her when their blood slowly flows from their lifeless body. Prior to being sent to the Magic Academy to be under the guidance of the mages, Rora remembers her uncle being dragged away by the law enforcers of the Monian Empire. His eyes were dark with anger as he yelled at her. Rora knew neither her nor her uncle killed her parents, but she blamed him anyway. She was close friends with her parents' attackers, and she couldn't afford losing them, for they were the only ones she had that ever listened to her. But the last nail in the coffin was that they reminded her too much of her own pent-up anger. So there you go. I'm probably never gonna do that again. That narration was just for me to distract you from the mere fact that I lost an hour-long clip of me making color and hair variations for her. Here's a screenshot anyway, whatever. I'm gonna continue talking about her design. I gave her a dress and a ribbon in her hair to suggest that she's some kind of noble within the Monian Empire. And I know, yes, she shares some similarities with Guinevere's design, and I'm not sorry for incorporating such familiar elements into Rora's base design. But guys, come on. It's a dress and croissant hair, there is nothing more princessy than that. For her in-game look, I utilized the concept art that I made of her this time, separating her head, torso, skirt, and feet to sell the perspective instead of manually drawing the whole thing from scratch, which I did last time for Larimar. Don't get me wrong, I love doing that for him, but this just saved me some time as I believe there wasn't really anything dramatic I needed to do with the pose or anything like that. I think I did a really good job with this one. The bright pink hair was really readable from this point of view, so I was really happy with that. Passive, Fragmented Consciousness. Rora's basic attacks naturally deal magic damage. Upon spawning on the battlefield, Rora creates two illusions of herself that acquire her own attributes and can be controlled individually. Damage dealt by enemies to Rora are not shared with her illusions. However, when Rora or either of her illusions die, all of them die together. Rora does not share skill cooldowns with her illusions except for her ultimate skill. When Rora's illusions do not take damage or are inactive for 5 seconds, they turn invisible, but stop granting vision on the minimap. When switching consciousness with Rora's illusions, the switch button goes on cooldown for 1.5 seconds and goes on cooldown for a second for every instance of damage received, but not stacking. If you switch consciousness while walking, the illusion will continue walking, stopping only when hitting a wall, starting the 5-second inactive cooldown. Rora's illusions will only attack with her when they are close to her. First skill, Isolation Capsule. Rora casts a bolt to a target direction, dealing magic damage. When the bolt reaches the end of this range, it flies back towards Rora, dealing magic damage on the way back. Cast again, and the bolt bursts into a big bubble, capturing the first enemy hero caught, rendering them airborne and pulling them towards Rora. If Rora switches consciousness, she can release another bolt, as it has a separate cooldown, making for more damage output. However, this makes her lose the ability of making a bubble out of the first bolt. She can recast the first skill from her active body instead, or launch another bolt by transferring consciousness again. Second skill, Tight-Knit Circle. Rora recalls her illusions and wraps herself in a bubble to float towards target direction. When she reaches the end of the skill's duration without taking damage, she will turn invisible and get a 20% movement speed boost for 4 seconds, after which she and her illusions reappear. If Rora takes damage while the skill is active, she will not turn invisible, nor will she get a movement speed boost, but she will keep her illusions hidden with her unless she attacks the enemy, which her illusions will attack as well. Third skill, In My Bubble. Rora summons a bubble dome to deny enemy vision within the area for 4.5 seconds. Enemies' hero lock skills and mechanics are rendered useless as they cannot see any target inside the dome. The dome does not block enemies from exiting nor entering. When Rora casts the skill, she will also recall her illusions to fight alongside her. That's it for Rora, the illusion of loneliness. If you like this video, please give it a like, share it to your friends, and subscribe if you haven't yet. It takes time to make these videos, so I hope you appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Until next time.